Come on then, we've got work to do. All of yours. We've got an E90 to service. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Now today, we've got the E90 in the shed. First video of the shed, and we're actually going to be doing some work today. No, there's nothing wrong with it. We're servicing it, so let me drag out all the stuff that I bought for it so I can show you what we're doing today. Now I know it don't look like much, but we've got majority of the service here. So we've got new air filter, oil, fuel filter, brake pad wear sensor has gone off. When I inspected, it was broken. I think it was when the coil spring exploded, damaged that. So we've got a new one of them. I've got some LED rear number plates to put in as well, just because. Now you may be asking, why have I got 20 litres? No, this car does not take 20 litres. More cost effective to buy 20 litres than it is to buy 8 litres, similar price. I know this isn't a massive service. I did forget a few things, so I always forget that these cars have got a rear diff, so I didn't get the diff oil. That'll be in another video. I didn't buy a cabin filter because I did have one lying around here somewhere from an E46. They look kind of similar, so I'm going to try and test fit that. And if it don't fit, then I'll just buy one. But it's pretty easy to do a cabin filter on these. What else did I forget? Yeah, we're not doing gearbox oil. As you know, this car's automatic, and it's not just a simple process of draining the fluid and dumping new stuff in. The actual sump is a filter, and then there's a process of filling it up, making sure the level's correct. And I've done one before. I've done one on a 8-speed ZF on a Range Rover, and it wasn't fun. And you want to make sure that everything's level. Obviously this workshop's not level. And also on these, it's common on the ZF boxes that the Mechatronics, the seals, when you take I can't say it. When you take the valve body out, basically there's 3 seals that you're supposed to replace as well, because they tend to go and leak. So I'm undecided if I'm going to buy the kit and do it myself here, or if I'm just going to pay someone to do it, because I just don't want to, well, I just don't want to mess it up. Today, that's what we're doing. Finally getting some work done. So I think I'm going to start with the air filter, because, well, you'll see, it's not as straightforward as just fitting the air filter. So let me get you all set up, let me get some tools, and let's crack on, boys. We have our engine bay exposed. Now you may be asking, where do we put such a massive filter? Well, the filter is actually located on the side of the engine, not in your conventional little box that you normally have here or on the other side of the engine. So it is actually located deep in down here. So in order to get to that and to take this cover off, normally on your engine cover you can just lift it off. This is bolted in with 4 bolts, which are not accessible. So we then have to remove this cowling. So we're going to get that off first. This piece comes off with your cabin filter, so put that to one side. So now you can clearly see that we've got access to the whole back of the engine cover. So you're going to remove these 4 screws with a 5mm Allen head. And then your engine cover should be able to just slide out. Nice. You can kind of get a better idea of where our air filter is located. It is deep in there, so we're going to have to take this piece off, take this piece off. So we're going to do that now. Again, use your 5mm Allen key. Looks like there's been a self-tapper added. So move that out of the way. There we go. So that piece from the side comes out. You can see the state of that air filter looks nasty, but this next piece needs to come off. One right in the back here as well. I don't know if you can see that. going to undo this strut bar just so it pings up a bit, so we've got some space. So I finally got her out. That's the piece down there. I ended up taking these strut braces out just so I could move the rear engine cover, which goes all the way down for some silly reason, just enough that way to wiggle that piece out. Now the airfield doesn't look too bad, but I haven't taken it out yet, so basically slide this forward and then back, so then you can take her out. But she's pretty nasty, so that's ready for the bin. We are going to clean that up and then install our new filter and get everything, all this cover back on, then leave it off for now, so I've got decent access to the oil filter here. So I'm just going to leave that top cover off for now. So yeah, with a bit of magic we then get all this cleaned up, filter on, and all that cowling and the strut bars back on, just like this. There we go, all back in, new air filters in, crossbars are all in, everything's done. So now jack this behemoth up, get her on jack stands, and then I think I've got some, yeah, so a bottle of engine flushes, dump in it, let her warm up for 10 to 15 minutes, and then we'll get everything set up to drain the oil. Okay, so I'm under the car, so you can see she's on jack stands. We've got this massive under tray, and you have got an access point down there to drain the oil, but you can see she's like a massive big crack in there. All this is all held in with this one set screw, all this is broken, and I can see there's a bit of a leak, oil leak or some sort of leak on the gearbox. So I think I'm just going to take this off until I can replace it with a bit of a better one. And let this state of these screws, they ain't going to be coming out anytime soon, are they? So I do set to replace the bumper on this because it's been well used. So I'm going to take this under tray off and then we'll move on from there because this is horrendous. Found our fuel filter. We've got to remove the security clamp, pull this pin out, pull this out, get this bracket off so we can replace it. Let's try and get this off. Oh, we're not going to get there, are we? I should have bought something a bit smaller. Bloody fucking bucket. Right. This is brilliant. Right, get that out of the way. Oh, for fucking hell. Oh, you fucker. So here's our old filter. You can see there at the end, it's broken. So that's not good. Good job of replacing it. So I'm just going to take this little bracket off, which is held in with a little T25 or something. So new filter, I'm going to put that on. I'm going to put a hose clamp on that line before we do anything. And then we've got a new fuel filter. I'm going to put this hose on first. Like so. And line her up in there. I'm going to rest that in there. I need to put this little set screw back in there. Just so that's happy. I'm just going to start this up. Now, we just need to push this fucker back in, like so. Retaining clip straight back in. Like that. There we go. Let's clamp that line to make sure that we've got no leaks. Right, that's nice and tight. Oh, now
When you start the car, obviously you've added pressure air to the line, and the filter's dry. When you start it, just don't expect it to start on the first try because it will need to build up some fuel pressure. We can move on with the oil. You can see here we've got a bit of an oil leak, boys. I think it's coming from the sump gasket's leaking, I think, because all the sump's wet, but we'll worry about that for another day. Let's get this thing started. Right, now that she's running, like I said, you just need to build that fuel pressure back up. We're going to crack this. We're going to add our engine flush. And then we can move on with our oil service. Just going to let her run for about 10 to 15 minutes, get that circling through, get the oil nice and thin and hot. Check for leaks from the oil, from the fuel filter, and we'll be good to go, boys. Right, that's 10 minutes she's been idling. I am going to firstly crack the oil filter housing and then remove the dipstick, and then we'll crawl underneath and then start draining this puppy. I need to get rid of this DPF. It's fumed out the shed. Stinks. Anyway, let's crack this oil filter housing. Right, with our 32mm, slap that on there. Crack that open so it allows the oil to flow out a bit better. Pull our dipstick as well, just so we've got the best chances of getting as much oil out as possible. Right, under the car you can see our sump's very nice and oily. It's not a 19, so I'm guessing it's a 17. There we go. Here we go, boys. Right, let's see. Have we got the speed today? Have we got the speed today? Not bad. Gosh, she is black. Whilst I let that drain, I'm going to do the brake pad sensor quick. Ugh, yummy. And then we can replace our washer on our sump colt as well. So I'm just going to let that drain. Position your dish somewhere so it's not going to drip absolutely everywhere. And then let that drain for a good, as long as possible, really. Oil filter on the carrier, or oil filter removed. And I've removed this main seal here. Now this one does have two little seals here, but my oil filter only come with a new sump washer and a new big seal, so it's a bit cheeky of them because there is two seals there, but it's probably my own fault for buying a cheap one. So I'm going to use some old engine oil to lube up this seal. You can use like rubber grease or silicone grease, or obviously new engine oil. Any of the following will do. Into that main groove there, one with the writing on at the top. That's better, and then slot it back in. Get it to where it's fully wound down. Tighten it up. Okay, so I've just put the sump plug all back on, pulled everything out, drained the oil back into, or the old oil into my dirty container. So I've just poured out 5 litres in my new oil jug. Hey. So we're going to get, I don't know, the car's slightly on the rise on the jack stands. I've got the jack. I'll put 5 litres in it, see where we're at on the dipstick, and then I'll take it off the jack stands and start her up. And then finalise the oil, because I think this takes about 7.5 litres. So, oh, she's full. Oh, should have had a rag out ready. I've just cleaned that as well. So like I said, we're just putting 5 litres in, 5W40, my favourite oil for diesels, triple QX. Right, I've got all the cowling back together. I've just put another litre in, still not showing on the dipstick, so I'm just going to start her up quick, just so we can get the oil pressure back, and hopefully, and I've lowered it off the jack stand, so just going to start her up, see how we're doing. Show it like right at the end of the dipstick. It's really peculiar. Put about 6 litres in. Well, this should be the rest of our oil. So, doesn't matter if it needs more because I've got 20 litres of it, but I don't want to overfill it. I've done that on my E36. Dipstick is right on minimum, which is great. These sheep are starting to piss me off. They've shat everywhere outside, so my car tyres are going to get violated. I'm going to do some Googling just to make sure that it's 7.5. So I'm just going to let the oil get up to temp, and then that's what it says on Google to do, so that's what I'm going to do. I know I've put 7.5 in. Online it says 7.2. Don't think 300ml is going to hurt it. I'll probably end up changing the oil in a few thousand miles anyway, just to be safe. I normally do that, and I've got plenty of oil to do so, so that is it. I'm going to tidy up all this mess at the back, but that is our first load of work done in the new unit, so went fairly smoothly. Yeah, I've now got sheep poo absolutely everywhere, so my nice summer tyres are going to get absolutely filthy, but it is what it is. Anyway, I'm going to end the video here, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, it's the first video for a while that you've actually seen some work being done on a car, so I think it went fairly smoothly. That fuel filter was a bit of a ball ache because I didn't have the car high enough, and I had a massive bucket thinking that's all I had, and I've actually got an old washing up bowl there, so that would have worked so much better, but it is what it is. We like to struggle here. So that has been the E90, guys. We did we did sort of a service on it. I'll probably film when I address the rear diff oil. I want to flush the coolant out. We probably need to do a sump gasket at some point. I'll keep an eye on that and replace that under tray because that's been battered, but that's for another time. So yeah, the next video on the E90 will probably be diff oil, coolant flush, power steering flush, and then we'll talk about that gearbox service, because I'm still on the fence about doing it myself or just getting someone with a ramp to do it for me. But yeah, we'll talk about that soon. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you want to keep up to date with the builds and the channel, hit that subscribe button. It really does help me out. And I'll see you guys all in the next video. Cheers and gone. Bye.
And I've been counting down